This is Latina Life.
Dropping out. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do law school. Yeah. I'm so done.
Puro 956 right here.
I don't know who you think you are. You know, I'm not gonna, it makes me aggressive. You want to see aggressive?
It makes me want to be.
Yeah, give me that. Like literally, give me that. Joking, but I'm not.
Good. The fact that you don't like me as much as I do is weird.
That's odd.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Latina Life. I have a very special guest today. This is Autumn. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes. Hi, I'm Autumn Davis. I am from Detroit, Michigan, and I am a rising 2L at the Thurgood Marshall School of Law.
Oh, that's right. So that means you just came off your 1L year, right?
Yes, I did.
So how does that feel?
It feels amazing to finally be done.
Yeah.
So I'm like super happy that like I made it this far because a year ago I was dreaming about like being at this moment.
I love that for you. That's so awesome.
Thanks.
I love that. That's so like I remember the summer after my 1L just being so tired. Like that was mainly how I was feeling because 1L was a lot. So are you feeling like ready for 2L or like where are you at mentally?
I think mentally I'm still grinding.
Right.
So I'm still at the point of like now I'm doing 2 internships. I'm taking 8 credits right now.
Wow.
So the grind hasn't stopped for me yet.
Right.
Like I think I took like maybe a 3-week break and finally was like, okay, like I'm done. I finished. Like kind of like, okay, you're proud of yourself. But then it immediately shifted to, okay, what's next?
Yeah, that's so awesome. I can't wait. There's a moment that are you gonna help with orientation or be there for orientation at all?
I may pop in.
Yeah,
I may do a little pop up.
You should. The only reason I say that is because it's like a big moment. Like, personally, like after a 1L year, you come to the orientation and you see everybody that was just in your shoes, and you're like, damn, you know, kind of like a rite of passage moment. So I definitely suggest you should do that. That's really cool.
Yeah, shout out to class of 2027. I may stop by.
Oh my God, 2027. That's so crazy. Yeah. That's who they are, huh?
Yeah, that's who they are.
Wow. And it's not even far away. I don't know why I'm acting like it's so far away. It's just I know I'm gonna be 27 and 27. So I'm like, damn. When they become attorneys, I'm gonna be almost 30. But but yeah, that's crazy. So for this next 2L year, what is like something you're most nervous about or excited about or what are your thoughts right now?
I think I'm most excited about being 2L vice president. Like, I'm very happy that my class has decided to re-elect me.
Congratulations, first of all. I love that.
I'm so happy.
I love that for your class
I love
as well.
y'all. If y'all watch this, I really love y'all. Thank y'all.
I love your class too, honestly. Y'all are dope.
They're amazing, and we are going to do some of the most amazing things upcoming. That. So I'm super excited for that. I'm also nervous just because it's my like first full year in a leadership role at Thurgood, and there's so many like high expectations, and there's so much of like what people want, and it's like, okay, I want to make sure I'm pleasing my class, but I'm also like leading them in the right direction. Like I feel like that's like part of the reason why I chose Thurgood was because of the protect it, improve it, and pass it on, and because so many people that like went here told me about like the family aspect of the school. And getting to actually see that, like, oh, people giving me books, people sharing Google Drives of, like, material and just telling me, like, what to do. Or I had someone in this year, like, I was doing property and I did not do well that midterm exam. And
it'd be like that, though.
I didn't do well at all, and I was so down in spirits. And I was like, okay, I know, like, the final exam for Clevin is gonna be like that's it, that's all, like this is where I gotta put all my eggs in my
your final fight.
Besides comp, so my tutor Monique actually like decided to give me like a private session without everyone else. Aww. Because she knows I can't focus when everyone's asking her 1,001 questions. So, and I end up doing really, really well on the final, and it saved my grade. So I was happy. I can't wait to do my trial. That's something I'm excited for.
Are you in the class?
Yes.
Love that. I'm super excited. I can't wait because I feel like y'all's class is super eager and excited for mock trial. And then a lot of us are coming back into the program. Like I feel like last year not a lot of 3Ls were returning. I don't know if it was just a small program before us, but I feel like our program is going to be huge this year. I think it's going to be really good. We're going to bring home a lot of trophies.
Bunch.
Even when you were coming into 1L year, I've noticed you and you were a big personality, right? And I feel like I can relate. I've always been just like unapologetically myself, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to know if you have ever struggled with that like in law school, because I feel like and I'm gonna maybe like sound crazy, but I mean, people always say it, like, it's a male dominated industry, right? And so there's not a lot of space, or no one leaves a lot of space for girls like us with big personalities who command a room. Right. And so how do you feel about that?
I feel like that's very true. Yeah. And like, there's not a lot of room for, especially minority women. Like, I feel like it's totally different for women who are not minorities to be able to command a room, and it's not looked at in a adverse or adversarial way,
or being loud or being like, emotional. Yeah.
Whereas for us, it's a little bit different, and so I always take that into account. But in being true to who I am and myself, I really can't give that much of a care. I'm gonna keep it PG.
That. Right. I love that.
But I have to command every room that I walk into. Like, I have to start somewhere. Right. And I feel like asking the important questions, taking command of a room, showing truly like who I am and who I want to be will get me more notice positively than negatively. Like, I can't focus on the negative as much.
I don't know who, I think it was Meghan Markle. She was like making a speech, and she's like, women need a seat at the table, and sometimes if we don't have a seat at the table, then we got to make a table.
You got to make the table. Or like, I always think I want to make a table or a seat for someone coming behind me. Like, it may not necessarily be about me and having that seat, but if I had a seat, then that person should have a table, a knife, a spoon, a fork, a plate. They should have more than what I had. So it's important to like make a way for everyone that's coming behind me.
I love that. So, tell me a little bit about Detroit. How is that different from Houston?
Well, it's different in a number of ways. I feel like Houston is just party central. Like,
I love Houston.
Everywhere I go, it's a bottle girl.
Right. A section.
It's a section.
Section central.
And I feel like Detroit is not necessarily the same in that way, but like, we have our own like lingo, our own way of having fun, and we are hustlers through and true. Love like that. We're gonna get it out the mud no matter what. Right. For those of us that really want to. Right. And so I haven't seen as much of that here, but I'm also in law school, so I'm around people like yourself who are necessarily like every day striving to do something. Right. But I don't know that the general public of Houston.
Right. Yeah. What the vibe is. Yeah. That's
and
so
then
dope.
When we go out,
it's different.
It's different.
Yeah. So, it's a whole different vibe. Yeah. One thing I do, and this is gonna sound silly, but one thing I do love about Thurgood is that it. Like, as a school, we go out together. Yeah, I love that. Like, 110%. Sections full of Thurgood. Full. I don't know why that makes me so happy.
With bottle wars.
Right. Everybody's like, I'm gonna get more bottles.
I'm gonna get more bottles. Yeah. No, we were okay at the last two.
Right. Yeah. So, no, I don't know why. I think it just makes more of a community feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a community feeling, and I think it brings camaraderie. Right. Like, and we kind of like, it's like, okay, we grind together. We're in this building 12 hours a day for some of us. Some of us is 9 or 5 hours a day. And we see each other all day, every day. And we encourage each other through our studies. And we compete against each other. Right. Like, the reality is law school is a competition. Right. And so.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate the curve. Gotta state that statement. Hate the curve. Me too. Right. But it's more important that not only do we compete against each other, but we also like have fun with each other, get to know each other, human. Experience each other, be human, get out of this experience and have a great balance. Like, it's okay to be in school, study and grind and get the good grades, but it's also okay to like go out and have fun, like live your life, especially like we're young. So as a person, I think I had to learn that I wasn't not as great, but I had areas in which I needed to grow that I didn't realize before coming to law school. That's real. And that law school taught me, here's where you needed to grow. But also in my like personal relationships, I learned like, this is who you used to be. And here's how far you've already grown. You just have a little bit more to go. So it was like, I learned how I need to be more patient with people and give people more grace, like especially in leadership. And I also realized at the same time that like I'm over like getting super irate or upset without a solution to a problem. Right. And so I saw that in other people, and I was like, oh, that's not the way that you should necessarily operate. So it's like seeing where I used to be and where I am now, and then also realizing like, hey, you still have like a little bit of growth to do.
Yeah.
So like, let's get on this, sis.
That's dope though, because that's like at the epitome of everything. That's taking accountability and just looking inwards. I feel like I'm the same way in my personal like growth as a person, right? Like when I got to law school, I feel like I was so unreasonable, you know, like we learn what a reasonable person is. And it's crazy that you say that you learned in like your personal relationships, because for me, like whether it was dating or my mom and dad or my friends, like I feel like I became so much more, and my people in my life are probably like, really, you think so? But like I feel like I became so much more understanding and like you said, patient, just because law school puts you through a lot. It does, you know, and it tests you as a person. It tests you as an individual, and so I learned to be more patient with my people and more like forgiving.
Do you think it made you more appreciative of them though?
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
Yeah, same.
So full transparency, right? Like, and I don't know how you feel about this. Like in my dating life, or just in, I don't know if I want to say dating, but in my like more friend dating sort of area, maybe not family. Like I was always like, unless it was like my super tight friends, it was just kind of like complacent, because in my mind it's like, okay, well, it was like a defense mechanism, right? You probably like you probably don't think we're as close as I think we're close, and so I would just distance myself, right? Coming to law school was lonely, and it was really harsh and cold, and so I realized like, hey, you don't have to be that way. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like cold, and you don't have to be not like be so scared to be in a friendship or relationship. Like you can be open. Right. And almost by force, like law school was kind of like either do it or be alone. Right. You know,
and it does force you to do that. Definitely.
Literally. Yeah.
But it also, like, for me, it made me rely more on my friends and family from back home. Or I don't think I even realized before I got to law school how much I was dependent on my friends and family for like everything. Like, oh, I'm bored, let me just drive 15 minutes from my family, and now they're thousands of miles away, and it's just like, oh, I'm really here by myself. Like, I'm really spending time with me. And although I had like I don't like to say, oh, my friends, but like my friends from home, because I did make a great connection with people from here who will probably be lifelong friends. But those ones from back home, it just made me appreciate them in the relationship that we have so much more. And I love them to death. Like, loved them to death before I came to law school, but I have a newfound respect for them. Oh, yeah. And a newfound appreciation, because no matter my schedule, you know, they would call me or try to work around it, and you're busy during law school, and it's so like I had to have okay, I'm gonna be in law school, I can't answer as much speech, but like they were understanding of that, and they've never ever given me a hard time about that. And
it's crazy, like, as you say that, I have like memories of all of that happening for me. Like my best friends, like they held me down. I'm not gonna lie, like I was going through it. My best friend Ashlyn, my best friend Nat, like my cousins, like they it's more like, you know, people can support you and like make sure you're straight mentally and emotionally. And before law school, I never realized that, you know. I think it was always there. They were always like that for me. But when it came to law school, like you said, I was completely alone in Houston. Like I'm not as far away, like I'm 3 hours away, but you like 1 year I never got to go home. I went home for like Christmas break and then spring break, like that was it.
I went home as much as I could.
I couldn't. I feel like I was stuck. I don't know, I felt so guilty about taking breaks from school, and so I just never went home. They come to visit, but so like you said, like I had a set schedule, right? So my friends knew that, and they would call me when they knew I had a break, or they would text me and be like, hey, I hope everything's okay, I'm here for you, whatever. And anytime that I had free time, of course, if they had free time, but anytime that I had free time, they would take advantage of it and just be there with me. And sometimes my best friend would come up and visit, and like, it's tough. Like it's so cool seeing your people become a village, like right in front of your eyes.
It's so amazing. And like, you don't realize necessarily like how much of an emotional and mental support that they are, and especially if all of your friends like really get along. So for me, like I have a girl best friend and a guy best friend. Hi Cheyenne, hi DC, I love y'all very much.
Shout out to y'all.
Hi Bookies. But there would be days where like I would tell one of them like, oh, I'm having a really bad day, or they could see I was having a bad day, and then everyone's calling to check on me because they were like, okay, Autumn's not doing right. She's not okay. Like, call her, like, make sure she's okay. Or, and that, like, it was warmth when I couldn't feel their warmth. You get what I'm saying? It's like their physical presence couldn't be there, but they made up for it by doing things like that. So, like, I
love that.
That was super dope. I love y'all so much. Love y'all.
Shout out to
I'm not
them.
gonna cry. Okay, come on.
Actually, what do you think about, like, the whole feminine energy thing? Like, you know, that's a trend thing going on right now on TikTok. Like, oh, being in your feminine, being in your masculine. Have you seen that or not really?
So, yes, I have.
I don't really understand it, to be honest. Like, what does that mean to be in your feminine energy? You know what I mean?
I feel like it means to kind of be more in touch with femininity. I know that sounds so crazy to say, but it's like, for me at least, like, sometimes my more masculine tendencies present a lot more just because of, like, how I was raised and where I'm from. And it's like, when I grew up, I was the only girl on the block. So, like, I'm playing two-hand touch with the boys, and I'm riding my bike and racing it, and I'm wrestling with them. Like, I had to be interested in, like, WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Like, So it's like, now it's like, okay, I'm fully engrossed in, like, being the woman of, like, who, like, a woman, like, being more dainty and just more soft, and, like, wanting to do that and experiment with that a little bit more. And so, I'm just more into that. So I guess, like, as it relates to feminine energy, like, you're more womanly than maybe you've been before.
I get that. I feel like that's something I have struggled with too, because I'm a very, like, dominant personality, like we talked about earlier. And so, like, the clash is there. Like, for me, I don't understand, like, can you be feminine and dominant at the same time, or not really? I don't know. School me, educate me.
You can, but I feel like a true dominant person. I was about to say a true dom, but
I'm like, whoa, another podcast for another time.
But a true, like, dominant woman knows when to submit. Like, like, just you doing that right now, it's, like, kind of womanly of saying, like, hey, I don't know this. Like, school me. So, like, you're dominant in the ways and areas in which you need to be, but in the ways in which you know, not necessarily that you lack, but you aren't as strong or knowledgeable or skillful in, you're perfectly fine with saying, hey, I'll let somebody else take the reins. So I'll learn from someone else.
That's such a great way to explain it, because I've never really, like, been able to understand or connect with it, because for me, I'm just like, I don't want to give up who I am, but I also am very feminine, super girly. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can be both. Right.
Can be both.
I'm like, and I think that's dope, because I think that's so powerful. You know, I was talking to I had another podcast episode with Olu. I don't know if you know who Olu is.
Love Olu.
I love Olu bad. I love her so much. I support her so much.
She's so amazing.
Yeah. So she was explaining to me, like, the power in having, like, feminine energy, or more so, like, in a partner. And I think for me, I never really saw it like that. And then now you're explaining to me that feminine energy is kind of being able to submit and being able to let someone lead you. But that doesn't mean that you're not educated, and that doesn't mean you're not smart. You're just, you know, sometimes someone else is smarter in a different area.
Like, it's okay to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, and play on those.
Because I think men and women both have feminine and masculine energy.
They do, yes.
And so for me, like, I feel like I would love to see a man be in both. You know what I mean? And it sucks that, like, guys can't really comfortably do that. You know, I think that sucks for them, but, like, I guess we're kind of the same way. I guess we're allowed to be both. They're not allowed to be both.
That is the issue. Like, even from, like, when they're younger, they're told, like, hey, it's not okay to cry, it's not okay to express your emotions. And it's like, in a relationship with a woman, you have to do so. Like, you have to be able to confidently express your emotions in a way that is productive or conducive to the environment in which you create with someone, and that's, like, healthy for the both of you. So like,
you have to be emotionally intelligent.
You definitely, and aware.
And so I'm curious to see my first, like, in a past relationship to the next one, because I've learned so much from so many people, and how to be a better like partner, a better girlfriend, better person. And so I'm curious like how it's going to translate, you know what I mean, into that. And hopefully it's good.
It will be. I am also one of the single girlies.
Right.
So I'm super excited to see, like, will I have a partner in law school? How will that look? And I love all of my friends that are, like, married or in a relationship. Like, seeing people who balance being in law school, but also balance being an incredible partner.
Tough, right?
It sounds super tough, and it's also very cool. Like,
so cool.
I love that for them. I don't know how I will be able to juggle both, but if someone's interested in showing me how I can,
you're like, my Instagram
is lawfully melanated. No. But seriously, like, I do want to love, and like, I don't know, this experience has made me also want someone to share this experience with.
I love that.
That doesn't necessarily like, may not understand law, but necessarily understands, like, that wants to learn. That's just like, what did they say, like, orientation week? It was like something about, the Bay method.
What's that?
It's like where you simplify it enough so that, like, the normal person or your bae could understand the law.
Cute. That's cute. Do you think you're going to end up with a lawyer?
No.
Well, one day you're going to be at your wedding, right? And I'm going to send you this clip and be like, remember when you said no?
I just don't foresee that for me.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
I think, like, law is demanding. Like, it's super demanding of time, of energy. And it's like, if both of our time and energies are so off, like, into something else, like, I need someone to kind of balance me that says, hey, like, come back to earth. Like, I know you're in law, you know, you're doing everything that you need to do, but like, come back to home, to family. Okay, let's have, like, a sit down, let's have a movie night, let's have a, you know. And so someone who's also so into law in the way that we are, because it's kind of like, we're not just like, we like the law. Like, we're like, no, like, I want to change the law. It's my life. I'm interested in it. I'm intrigued by it. I'm reading articles. I love, like, what I'm learning. So it's totally different for us. And so, I could have tons of friends that are men or women that love the law, but, like, having a partner, I feel like, will be totally different.
I'm so curious to, like, I'm gonna replay my own podcast back to myself and be like, that's so funny that you said that, because, you know, but like, I don't know, I'm not against it, but one thing I will say, I don't want to end up with a doctor, because I feel like we're gonna be demanded in two different ways, and I'm not gonna be able to understand him or at all.
But you will, in a way, because he loves something just as much as you do.
True. Toxic masculinity, I got some freaking words for you. Ugh, I hate that so much, because it's, like, so opposite of what actual masculinity is. Like, just like, in our culture we call it machismo, and, like, for me, like, as much as I am a dominant person and stuff, like, I do want someone who can lead me. Maybe not all the time, but as someone who can. And I will not follow someone who's has toxic masculinity. Because I feel like it's insecurity. And I think it's just, like, you need to go therapy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just have such an issue with it.
My favorite phrase is, you need to go sit on somebody's red couch.
You need to go sit on someone's red couch.
You do. Nuts. And kick your feet up and have a good talk.
Take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off. Get comfortable. Rub your feet together. Do what you got to do. Do you need a blankie? Because, like, do what you need to do to get out the toxicity that you had.
Right. It's learned behavior, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of things that I learned that I unlearned. And so you can do it too. You know?
And you have to want to, like, not just for your own, like, betterment, but the betterment of those who love and adore you and care for you. So.
Yeah. Oh, I hate toxic masculinity.
I can't stand it either.
It's so damaging. Like, I feel like men are, you know, they're beautiful, and they can be so much, like, more than just that, like, cliche, like, problematic man. They're so much more than that. Like, they have so much potential, you know?
Yeah, they do.
Because, you know, have you ever heard anyone say that you find your husband in law school?
Yeah, I have. And let me say this for the record. Let me get adjusted a little bit. I have not seen it yet. don't know when it's coming.
You're like, I have 2 more years.
It's approximately 2 more years. Yeah. And really, I'm counted as one.
Right.
Because I'm in the grind. Right. So I really don't have the time. And so, yeah, I just haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Maybe when pigs fly.
Right.
But
when they grow some wings.
But I mean, maybe it's capable for people. Like, there are people who may fall in love and find their person in law school. But I also think, like, law school is it's a trying time. Like, you're growing so much during that time with someone who's also growing so much during that time.
You could outgrow each other real quick. Like, I love Texas, but in the, like, Houston swanger way. Yeah. Not in like the red Republican way.
Not in the rest of Texas. There's like Houston and maybe a little bit of Dallas. Yeah. But then there's the rest of Texas. Yeah. That just, what page are we on?
And I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to stand on that. I love Buc-ee's. I love Whataburger. I love Houston. Like,
you lost me at Whataburger, but okay. Oh, don't kill me, y'all. Please.
The podcast ends.
Please.
Nah, Whataburger's good. I love the chicken strips. Everyone always makes fun of me, but I like chicken strips more. So I can't even be mad at you for real.
Maybe that's what I had to get. Because the burger is a no-go.
It's just more like the vibe. But, you know, like, Whataburger is, like, going into other states. Mm-hmm. I think Buc-ee's is, too. So it's, like, whatever. Like, it's not even just a Texas thing anymore.
Haven't been to Buc-ee's yet. Don't kill me. Okay.
You got to go.
Okay,
you got to go.
I am.
It's just the vibe. It's just so Houston. I mean, it's so Texas.
Being in law school, like, it's very hard to manage, like, your health.
Yes.
And be in law school. And it's not just a mental and emotional health thing. It's also a physical. Because it's so easy to, when you're studying for long periods of time, to just go out and go run and get something. Yep. Or like during the weekend, you're trying to handle so much that you couldn't handle during the week. So it becomes difficult to like meal prep. And I shout out to the people that do meal prep. And I do totally recommend it. But it's just very difficult. And that's something like I know that for this next upcoming year I have to get into more.
You want to focus on it?
Yeah, because like I want to be healthier mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Everything.
So like
I love that. I think for me, I was kind of forced to meal prep because I didn't have no friggin' money one year. I didn't
so
either,
broke. I was baby, I was eating
good. I was like forced to like break it down to like a meal prep of like sandwich and chips and stuff. So like, I mean, it is what it is. That's a struggle, but like, I think that's so interesting, and shout out to the people who can meal prep for real. But you know, one tip I do have is rotisserie chicken from HEB that's like already made. It can make into like 4 meals, like shred it up, make it however you want. So for anybody looking to the meal prep, that's
somebody
how I did
told me about Whole Foods does like a meal prep package thing, and so does Chipotle. Like if you get the like family,
I love Chipotle.
Chipotle got so much money out of me. This whole year, and I was not a Chipotle girly, but love Chipotle. Let me tell you that guacamole. I don't know who back there making it or what's going on, but
they know what they're doing. No, it's so
been
good.
My thing.
Message to the bar preppers right now.
Okay.
I will say I'm very proud of you guys. I think we're halfway through already. I think they're taking it the last week of July.
Yes, they are. I think it's like the 30th or the 31st of July.
Right, like the last days. Yeah. So you guys are almost there. I'm so proud of you guys. I for all of my like individual friends, like y'all know I check up on y'all all the time. I make sure my my friend is fed always. But I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are almost done.
Almost there.
Yeah. What about you? Any words for them?
So
you're like,
Yeah. Let me. Here you go. No, but you guys are more than capable of doing anything that you set your mind to, and you've already been an example of that all throughout the last 3 years. So this is just one more last great feat and trial that you're gonna have to get over to get to where you really want to be. And you've done the work. You know the material way more than what you think you do. Yep. And which is something they reminded me of this whole year. Yeah. Like that was something. Yeah, you know more than you think. Like, okay, so like take the advice you gave me.
Right. That's real. That's good.
And know that like you know more than you think, and you can do this. Like, you be encouraged, encourage yourself, grind, push it out, and then make sure that you, of course, like celebrate your journey and all that you've done to get to where you are.
Yeah. So proud of you guys.
So proud. Y'all are amazing.
Yep.
Please. Expeditiously. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Do you know what you want to practice?
So I haven't exactly figured it out, but I am interested in a couple of things.
Okay.
So possibly like civil rights, but more under like the labor and employment.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to take our class. Yeah.
We're in a class together right now in the summer. It's employment discrimination. So it goes over like what happens in the workplace when you're discriminated against for pretty much every reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's really cool that you like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so dope. I love that. I think that's so important, especially for minorities. Like our professor was telling us about like how some employers will take advantage of employees that don't know English,
right?
That are immigrants,
yes.
Which is really sucks. And I didn't even, before law school, like I didn't know anything about law school, to be honest. Before law school, I didn't even know there was a sector of the law for that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know that. And so.
And most people like think like, oh, civil rights is a dying art because we're not like marching and we're not right. It's not what it was in the 1960s, but it's not necessarily a dying art or a dying like area of law. It's just transformed into something so much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay.
So anything you have, any words of encouragement for someone maybe going through their 1L year on one of those, do you know how it goes? One of those days where it's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Something for them.
When you feel like you are down on your luck or you're second guessing or like the imposter syndrome seeps and creeps its way in, know that you are worthy. Yep. You deserve to be where you are. You did the work to get there, as I said before, for the bar takers, but like you're here for a reason and you owe it to yourself and probably some of the people that like may be dependent on you to make it back home, but you owe it to yourself and them to fully see this experience out and this journey out. Yep. And so it would be a disservice to yourself and the people that love you to give up. So don't give up during law school. Keep fighting. Do as much as you can. And where you may not do the best, know that you can make up for it. There's always a last chance.
You always got some other fight left in you.
You sure do.
Dope. I've had such a great time.
I had such a great time too. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And you allowed me to like do something that I wanted to do. Yeah. Starting law school, like I thought about like, oh, I want to do a podcast. Do it. And so to like cross this off my bucket list of, I may not have started my own podcast, but I was on one. Yeah. Like, I love that. I did something I wanted to do. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Really, like, you guys don't understand. Like, coming on the podcast is supporting me. You know what I mean? And the cause. Like, I just wanted, the purpose of the podcast was to be a place for someone who doesn't see themselves in the law field to come and see themselves. Right. And so it's been a whole lot of representation so far.
And that's super important in a field where there's not enough.
Right. Yeah. Like almost none.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome.
I will. I hope y'all will miss me a little bit and ask for me back.
Yeah, definitely will. I'm going to ask for you back because I need to be educated on how to be more girly.
Yeah.
Right? Being more of my feminine
and I'm working
energy.
On it myself.
Right.
So,
it's a work in progress.
It's a journey.
For everybody.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. But thank you so much. And if you want to plug in any of your socials, I will add it in and make sure everybody connects with you. At the end of the day, our network is the most important thing.
It is, and our brand. We're building it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This has been Lawtina Live. Bye.
Bye.